Well, good morning and welcome to Brekkie with the Guy Who Sews. Today is Saturday, the 22nd of July, and I'm super excited to have my very special guest, one of my good buddies who I've had on a couple of times before, but I'm excited to have her back. It is none other than Dani from Sew Not an Expert. I know a lot of you know her already, but if you haven't, please check out her channel. She is such a fun personality. She has some great lives on a Sunday morning most of the time. Sometimes she throws some extra stuff in. And I believe she's around 461 subscribers at the time of this morning's recording. So if you haven't checked out her channel, please do so. I'd love to see her get a little closer to 500 or even get to 500. I don't know if I'm that popular, but it would be so great to see her. So do you want to say good morning to everybody, Dani, and just tell us a little bit more about yourself and the channel?
Yeah, hi, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for letting me join your stream today. And your community is awesome. And I have so much fun watching your channel, Sean. It's so much fun. I love your Wizard of Oz project. It has been so much fun to watch that unfold over the course of your channel. It's been a lot of fun. It's one of my favorites. I keep thinking about getting the pattern myself, but I don't know. It's kind of intimidating. There's a lot of little pieces. I'm not quite sure that my level of expertise is up there yet, but we're getting there. That's for sure. But yeah, thanks again for promoting my channel. It's called Sew Not an Expert because that is exactly what I am. I am not an expert. And that is basically the premise for the channel, is that we learn how to do new things on the channel together. A lot of times the community is teaching me how to do them because I don't know how to do them. And we make a lot of mistakes, but we learn from them. And we have a lot of fun with Jack, the seam ripper. We have a lot of fun with him. He comes out at least once a stream.
We don't say his name here.
Oh, sorry. I forgot about the rule.
Yeah, it's jinx, but that's okay. It's done now, so we can bring him out. But yeah,
it's inevitable because, I already made a mistake this morning, so I'm going to have to pull him out in a minute anyways.
Oh, in that case, yeah, you can say his name. It's all good. But yeah, we've got a running.
Like I said, that's the premise behind my channel is I make a lot of mistakes.
And I love that. I really do love the name of your channel. I think it's wonderful, and I kind of a little jealous that you have that because I'm the same way. Like I've been quilting close to 10 years, and I still make a lot of mistakes. And I do have to pull out my friend Jack. Now we've let the cat out of the bag. We might as well just let it run around. And I'm like you. I'm not afraid to say, hey, look, I am not perfect. I make a lot of mistakes, and I think it helps our viewers a lot that, they can see that we are not perfect because there are, sometimes you look at some of these successful channels and popular channels and it's like they do everything perfectly and it's not that way. I mean, it's great for television, but, we like to keep it real. And as for that Wizard of Oz thing, I think you can do it. It's not as hard as you think. It is a lot of cutting. A lot of cutting, but if you can get past that and you have basic, if you're fairly competent in piecing, you can do it. I've learned so much from it. I've become a lot better since I started, and I think you could do it. So I say get the pattern and give it a go. And I think your viewers would love to see someone else making it as well. So, and then they also have Alice in Wonderland coming up in September.
Oh, that one sounds like it could be fun too. I'm gonna have to try to follow their website to see what else comes up. Yeah, right now I've got a couple of pretty challenging patterns that I'm working on. I've been kind of teasing them a little bit on my channel, and I don't want to say what they are because one of the followers of they're gifts for one of the followers of my channel. He's a close friend of mine, so I don't want to say what they are because as soon as I say what they are, it's going to be very obvious that they're for this person because they're very specific.
Yes.
So I don't want to say what they are, but they're very technical quilt patterns. And so I've been really intimidated by them. I've had them for like over a year now. And I'm really intimidated by them, but I'm excited to get started with them again. But just like with your Wizard of Oz pieces, it's a lot of cutting. It's a lot of very intricate cuts that have to be made that you have to be really careful with. It's not a paper piecing project, so I have to be careful with my sewing pieces. And there's a lot of little teeny tiny pieces. And so it's like, I've just been really intimidated by it, but I'm feeling confident and we're going to start on it. We're actually going to start on it tomorrow on my live stream. Well, not start on it. I've actually started on it already, but we're going to be working on it a little bit on my live stream tomorrow. So I'm hoping not to mess it up too badly while I'm chatting with everybody. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, my confidence in my quilting skills and my abilities has drastically improved since starting my channel a year and a half ago. My community has done an incredible job and the quilting community as a whole has done an incredible job of teaching me my skills and teaching me to better my skills and teach me to have more confidence in my skills, which has been a huge thing for me. It's no secret on my channel that I have some mental health concerns. They're not necessarily issues, but they can be concerns. And so quilting has done a great job of helping me with that. And so has the quilting community. Every time I'm feeling a little bit outside of normal, this is where I come. I sit here, I turn the camera on. And that's why you said sometimes, for the most part, my live streams on Sundays, but sometimes I'll pop the camera on just on a random day because I need that interaction with the community and with my with the quilting community and those people there, and kind of I need that feedback. I need that constant back and forth between us to be able to really feel like I can do what I need to do in front of this machine. So
absolutely. And I think mental health and that sort of thing is something that doesn't get enough awareness, and I think it's great that you have that outlet where you can go and talk to either talk to via chat or whatever with like-minded people. I think that's a wonderful outlet that you have. And I think it's great that you have a solution for that, where you can just turn on your camera and have a chat with your buddies. Because I think that's a lot of times, and I'm not an expert on that part, of course, but I think if you have an outlet, it goes a long way to fixing or helping you out with that particular instance. Because I think you mentioned, it doesn't happen all the time. It's just sporadic sometimes, and different things can trigger it and so forth there. But I don't want to get too deep into that, because I believe talking about it is wonderful, but I just don't know enough about it to profess to be a expert or specialist or provide any sort of training or anything else like that. But if you have an outlet or something that you find can help you, take full advantage of it. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. 100%.
Okay, excellent. Well, let's just say good morning to everybody, because we had a nice little crowd with us this morning, as we always do on a Saturday morning, which always it really makes my heart happy that so many people hop on every Saturday morning. I know it's early for anybody that's not in Australia or the UK or Europe. And it just, really makes me happy every morning that so many people hop on to say hi to me and, my guests that I bring on each week. So it looks like my friend Teresa is here. It's always good to see her. Miss Beverly, good morning, Miss Kathy. My mate Russ is here, and we'll be seeing him here on the channel very, very soon. You'll hear more about that later on. My good mate Stephen Bland is here, and it's always good to see him. And he had a really good birthday party last week. He had like a Zoom for all his friends and followers, and I got to hop on for a little bit and say hi, and that was a lot of fun. So happy birthday for Stephen last week. I don't know if I actually got to say happy birthday, and if I forgot, I apologize, but I'm terrible with birthdays. Cynthia Maria Field, good morning. Sarah, good morning. Elizabeth, it's good morning to you as well. My mate Rob, quilting in the man cave, it's good to see you. I haven't seen you around much, and it's good to see you this morning. My friend Pat Strawhouse from up north in Canada is here with us this morning. Good morning, Chloe. Miss Judy, Jeannie E says hi. Deb, Janice from the Right Way is here. She'll be joining me in the next couple of weeks as well. Christine, good morning. It's always good to see you as well. My friend Heidi is here. And Teresa and Scrunchins, it's good to see you as well. So good morning to everybody. Lynn says good afternoon, Sean and friends. So I believe she's somewhere in Europe or that part of the world. And Philippa is here as well. Hello, Sean. Nice to catch you live. So good morning, everybody. I do get a group from Australia, and if you're watching from Australia, my hat's off to you, because it's either 8 p.m., 8:30, or 10 p.m. where you are right now. So that's absolutely amazing. So Dani, we are here to sew a little bit usually, as well as have a good chat, or as we like to call it in Australia, a chinwag. Do you want to show us what you are working on this morning?
Yeah, absolutely. Right now I'm working on ripping out stitches because I'm, once again made a mistake. I'm working on a little paper piecing project. It's a little 5x5 block. It's a butterfly. I have one of them here. Each butterfly, there's 3 different butterflies, so each one's a little bit different. This one is Pepper. And right now I'm working on Gidget, which is a different type of pattern a little bit. I had started it on a live stream on my channel. I had started it on the live stream a couple weeks back, and I never finished the block because I ran out of time. So I'm going to finish up this block and hopefully start a third one.
Oh, nice. And have you done much paper piecing, or is this something that you kind of started on recently?
I've never done a full-size paper piecing project.
Okay.
Like the legit quilt kits. I've never done something like that. I've done little blocks like this. And I've done a couple of It's So Emma paper piecing, like the flying geese and the traditional blocks kind of thing. I've done some stuff like that, but I've never done a full-size project. I would like to try one someday on my channel, but right now I just have way too many projects going.
Oh, you and me both. I totally understand. And that's a question I'd like to ask the audience while we're talking about this, because I notice a lot of foundation, or FPP, for anyone that doesn't know, is foundation paper piecing, and it's a very precise type of crafting, and it's becoming very, very popular here in the YouTube community recently. I do know how to do it, but my heart is more with traditional piecing. I will do some foundation paper piecing projects from time to time. So yeah, if you want to see that will pop up from time to time, but not my main focus. But I'd like to know, for anyone that has done foundation paper piecing, have you done full size and little projects like Dani's talking about? And if so, which one do you think is easier? I'd love to hear the answer to that as well, because I did buy the legit kit earlier this year. I bought the pattern only because I want to change the colors on the actual project itself. And when I was there I was looking at some of the smaller projects, and the gentleman I was talking to advised me to go with one of the bigger projects, because they said the smaller ones are more technical and more difficult because it is smaller. But when I've done my paper piecing projects in the past, I've done stuff very similar to Dani. I've done 4-inch square projects with it's an Allison Glass trinkets pattern that I think Christine got me onto. And that was a lot of fun because they weren't super technical, and it gave me a chance to kind of get my feet wet and kind of get some confidence in that area as well. So I think for me, starting off with something smaller, as long as it hasn't got like 55 pieces in it, might be the way to go. But I'm just not sure. I'd love to see what people say in the chat that have done both. Do you think you should start with something smaller or something bigger? And then
I mean, for me, the bigger pieces was definitely the way to start out. Just from my own opinion. For me, the bigger big blocks, the big chunk pieces, the 2.5-inch strip, big chunk pieces was the best way for me to start, because it kind of taught me the technique, because it's a little bit different than traditional piecing. You have to kind of think it through a little bit and kind of do a little bit of opposites for a few minutes until you really kind of get your rhythm going.
Yeah, it's more than a little different.
Little bit, but then once you kind of get your rhythm going, then it makes it easier. But this 5-inch block this is the smallest I've ever done with regards to paper piecing, and the smallest piece, I mean, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but it's like a 1/2 inch. It's like super teeny tiny, and so that it's not as bad as I was expecting it to be when I first started the project, with regards to it being so tiny. But it is a much bigger challenge than working with the bigger pieces.
Yeah, and this is what I've done, and I can't find the other pieces, but this is like my 4-inch block that I did a little while ago from the Allison Glass trinkets.
Okay.
And the nice thing about that, I think the like this here, it's like I think there's like 40 some blocks in the pattern, and you kind of pick and choose which ones you want to do. And there's some that's super simple. It's like just a half square triangle, and then there's like, and it gets like all sorts of stuff there. And someone suggested I start with that, and I think it was Christine. And if it was, I thank you. And if it wasn't Christine, whoever it is, thank you so much, because it really did give me the confidence to try. So, and to me, like, I hate wasting fabric. So being able to start with something small was great, because I didn't have to sit there and worry about making something enormous. Like, I'll get to my two-seater dragon from legit kit at some point in the future, but I really do think it's going to be sometime next year. But I'm not going to do FPP today. I'm going to work on a project that I haven't worked on for quite some time. And I was telling Dani earlier this morning, when I was doing my, like I always make a nice photo and that sort of thing there for my thumbnail. And yesterday I just wasn't feeling photogenic. And I was like, I don't want to sit there and try and make a photo that looks nice and everything else. So I was just scrolling through some of the older photos that I used. And I had one that was of me holding up a few pieces of fabric. It was from my Hunter Star project. And I'm like, well, that's what I'm going to work on tomorrow. Because a lot of times I don't decide what I'm working on until like the day before or the night before. So, that to me was kind of like a sign. So this is the block I'm going to work on using the same fabrics, but they'll be in a slightly different order. I'm trying to change the color pairings up on each one. So this has been a super fun pattern. It is by, let's see, where'd you go? It's like by Calico Carriage or something like that. The link to the pattern for purchase is in the description of most of my podcasts if you're interested. And yeah, it's been a fun project, and it's really nice because like each block that we make is basically a bunch of like these bigger squares and then little ones. It doesn't take a whole lot of time to cut out, which is nice. So I'm going to start off by making my half square triangles, and then we'll go ahead and start working from there. So let's just see in the chat some answers to the question I asked earlier. Cynthia says, I love paper piecing. I started it, you called it, and I was so confused, but now it's easy. And if you started off with traditional piecing and you go to FPP, it's very, very much backwards. Like it was kind of like me learning how to drive on the right-hand side of the road and the left-hand side of the car here in the US versus what I used to do in Australia. So I've very much liking it.
That's an excellent analogy. That is exactly what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I remember like I grew up learning, I learned how to drive with a manual transmission. And I remember I hopped in my father-in-law's truck one day, which had manual transmission. And thankfully the clutch is on the same side as Australia. And I went to push the clutch and I went to change the gear and I hit the door handle because I used the wrong hand. I used my left hand instead of my right hand. And it took me a while to get used to that. And then having the bulk of the car on the other side. But that's a story for another day. Christine said, I did the legit kit donkey, lots of small pieces, not easier, stick with bigger. So yeah, I think if you do the legit kits, and you're not a proficient paper piecer, definitely go one of the larger kits. That's something that they recommended to me. And I totally think it's a good idea because I've seen like all the pieces, like the pattern. Is that what it's? Yeah, that's what it's called. And it's, there's some small pieces there, but you can start off with the bigger ones and, work your way down on that as well. So Teresa says, I find the smaller blocks are easy. The angles challenge me. Christine says, you're welcome. So it was her that told me about that. Thank you very much. I thought so. Heidi says she just dipped a toe on the FPP of a free pattern for a cow. I'd like to add a couple of blocks about the same size to make a wall hanging. I would say to start with something smaller, but not busy. That's excellent advice as well. Pat says, I think FPP is particularly good for assuring accuracy when piecing tiny pieces. That is very, very true. I love that piece of advice. And Sandra says, Dani, it was a fun day. We made that butterfly. So yeah, I'll have to go and check that video out because that looks like a fun project. I might have to do that at some point myself when I get 5 spare minutes, which might be like, 25 years from now. Mona said, what? It's good to see you here. She says, I definitely recommend start with a small project first, then jumping into a giant quilt. Teresa says she likes my Hunter Star. And Heidi says there's a few free patterns as well. And Mona says, I really like your dual camera angles. Well, thank you for that. I love hearing the feedback on that because I've now that I actually went out and spent money on a new laptop, you can actually see me on camera number 1 and then the sewing machine on number 2. I did try a new angle this morning. I'd love to hear feedback on that as well because I was watching some of the replays from the last couple of weeks and you kind of see my hands and my head on both angles. And I was like, I just don't know that I like that as much. So we'll give this one a go and see how it works. Janice says, my finger to driving is turning on the wipers instead of the indicators. Yes, that is, I was doing that for quite some time as well. And then every time I go back home to Australia, I try not to drive for about 3 or 4 days if I can, because inevitably I end up on the wrong side of the road. every time I go down there, I end up on the wrong side of the road. Now, you think that being down there for 20 some years, I'd learn how to, which side of the road to be on. But I've driven as a driver far more years in the US than I have in Australia. So I guess I'm just more used to that as well. But when I cross the street, I still look right, left, right, and I've almost got run over a few times here. So I guess that's what it is. Ginger says, good morning. I'm not a fan of FPP, just not my jam. And yeah, everyone likes something different. I mean, again, like my heart is with traditional piecing, but I do like knowing FPP because it's kind of, for me at least, it's nice if I see a pattern in FPP that I'd like to try. I'm not, well, for the most part, not intimidated by it. It's not like something I can't do. Heidi says it's same as learning at the ride of a motorcycle and transferring the manual transmission skills from a car. Very much so. I agree with that there. So I'll go ahead and actually get some sewing done rather than me just sitting here jabber-jawing all day. So what else have you been up to recently, Dani? Have you had a good summer? Have you done anything exciting? Have you gone anywhere? Have you done anything fun with your family that you'd like to share?
It's been a lot of family reunions and things like that, but we really haven't gone anywhere. It's all been kind of local to our area. In fact, we have another one tomorrow that we need to go to. I have 2 kids in college. One of them is home for the summer. The other one lives in a condo by her college. So she didn't come home this summer. So I got to spend a lot of time with one of my daughters, and the other one did come home a couple of times. So I got to spend some time with her, and it's a little different now that she's not home all summer. So I have to try to make sure to make the time to spend with her when she's here, as opposed to kind of taking it for granted that she's here in the house. So I've tried to spend as much time with her whenever she comes in to visit. She's visited probably 2 or 3 times over the summer so far, but no, we really haven't taken any trips anywhere. My husband and I, we really don't do a whole lot of trips during the summer. We wait till the off season when it's less busy to go places. Obviously there are some places that just aren't open during off seasons as well, but we prefer to travel in the colder weather when there's less people and less traffic and things like that. So we kind of stick to our home in the summertime for the most part. The weather here in Northern Illinois has been pretty good. Actually, it's been really great. We've tried to enjoy the outdoors as much as we can. This next week, though, I think the bottom's going to drop out and our luck is gonna die off here because it's supposed to be horribly hot and humid for the next week or so. So we'll probably be indoors. So I'll probably be working on some more stuff in the next week or 2 because I won't be outside. But I've been trying to, and that's why my channel has I've cut down on the number of videos on my channel this year because I'm trying to spend more time outdoors and less time indoors. I mean, with the COVID and everything else, everybody kind of came in their homes and they spent a lot of time indoors. And at least for me and my family, we kind of forgot to go back outdoors. So I've been trying to do that a little bit more, encouraging myself to kind of get out of the house and get outside and things like that this year. So we really haven't done anything too exciting that I can think of.
Yeah, we're kind of the same way in a lot of respects. We have to if we want to go somewhere, we kind of have to go during the summer because my wife's a school teacher and they don't really get a lot of time off during the school year because, they're supposed to be in school teaching the kids. But we do a lot of day trips and that sort of thing there, especially when our exchange students are here. We kind of take them to different museums and different locations around Virginia and the surrounding states. So we get, we do more of it that way as well. So, but I think it's great that you're able to travel during the off season. And I'm a little jealous in some ways because you save so much money if you go to in the fall or the spring or when all the kids are in school. And, we don't really have that ability, unfortunately, because, Amanda is supposed to be teaching the children, not going on vacation during the school year. So,
yeah.
But we're very fortunate. We get to go to, I love doing our little day trips with the kids. So, I'm very, very fortunate. And, this area of the country we have so much we can see. And you've seen a lot of that on the podcast. I try and share, as much as I can on that because, a lot of you guys may not ever get a chance to come out to this part of the world. And if you ever do come to this part of the world, let me know, and we can always catch up for coffee or something like that. But yeah, if you ever come to, is it Richmond that you're
My moderator, Lucas. Yeah, he is.
Yeah,
he was going to VCU. He graduated this year, so he's back home this year as well. So
Oh,
we're getting to
okay.
spend time with him as well.
Yeah.
We have, and then my husband has twin daughters as well, and they both graduated college as well. We had one at Virginia Tech.
Oh yeah, Tech's a little further out. That's a beautiful, like, I don't think I've ever been to Blacksburg. I haven't been that far out, but the mountains in that area, like that part of the world was just absolutely stunning. I love being up in the mountains. So
yeah, she was real happy being in the mountains. She said that was one of her favorite things out there.
yeah, I don't know, like winter out there so much, but yeah, it's just a beautiful, stunning part of the world. You've probably seen some videos of mine from there, like when I go to like Natural Bridge, and we did some walking on the Appalachian Trail up there and that sort of thing there. I think it's similar geography to that. Because I think it's just a little bit west of Roanoke, which is one place I have been to. All right, Stephen says, I'm not ignoring everybody, but I'm actually, because I found 2 mistakes in 2 blocks from the Art East kit called Cat Scratch, and I have to rip both blocks apart. See, it seems like everybody is pulling out our friend Jack. I don't know if it's just me, and I'd love to hear your input on this as well. Once you have to pull them out once, do you find you have to do it time and time again? Like, do you just have like a whole morning or a whole day of like having to rip out different things? Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, you make me
It
feel
kind of
better.
becomes an omen for the day. Yeah.
Well, I have a rule that if I have to rip out the same thing twice, it's time for me to put that project away for the day. And either work on something else. Either work on something else, or go take a nap, or go do something else. But yeah, like if I make a mistake on 2 different parts, that's fine. Like we just have those days. But yeah, if you've ripped it out, you've done it wrong again, it might be time that it might not be your day for that particular project. And if you are a monogamous quilter, and I know there's some out there, that might not be a good thing. But for me, I have like 17 different projects going on at once, so I can just do I can just move on to something else, although a lot of times it's because I'm tired. So, it's just my cue to go take a nap. Ginger says, I'll be in Roanoke in about a month to see our kids and grands. I'm making a quilt for the housewarming. Yeah, Roanoke's a beautiful part of the world as well. And it's about 5 hours, I think, from here. Let's see. Russ says to Stephen, you found it and not Walter. I suppose it's better that you found it now and not Walter after everything's together. Yeah, Walter's pretty good about finding errors and mistakes in Stephen's projects, if anyone doesn't know that as well. Ginger says, well, I bought fabric for a quilt. That means it's in progress, right? Yeah, sure. I'll go with that. I consider that, in progress. I mean, I keep putting the link to the Toasty project from Legit Kits on my page as a work in progress, and all I have is the pattern. So, yeah, I mean, it's your crafting, your rules. Yeah, you do what you want. Absolutely. Okay, good morning, Nancy. Everyone's saying they like your new camera angle. I appreciate your feedback on that as well. It's always nice to know what you're. And I meant to say good evening to Jan. It's good to see you as well. I hope you enjoyed your dinner. She is from Western Australia, for anyone that's wondering why I'm saying good evening. And she's going to go on a nice long trip over to the UK next week, which I'm excited for her about. She's going over to see her daughter, I think it is. I don't like it when it does that. Okay, let's try this. So what is everybody else working on this morning or this evening, or wherever you are in this part of the world? Because we've got people from all over the place: UK, Australia, Canada, US. I don't know if I'm missing anybody else. Susan says Sandra K is my mistake minder. Stephen says that was one of his followers found the mistake, and I love that. Like, I've been on a live where people have said, "Hey, Sean, you're doing it well." It's good. Like, if you see me messing something up, let me know. Like, I'm not going to be upset. I'm going to be grateful because the sooner I can find it, the less ripping I got to do. So far, I'm doing all right, I think. Christine says she's making a backpack and have a baby quilt on the long arm. I would love to make a backpack. That's kind of like one of the things on my bucket list, to make a backpack, maybe to put my laptop in and so forth. So, Christine, if you have a second, I'd love to hear what pattern you're using, because that has been something I would like to do sometime in the near future. Rebecca says she's unpicking the quilting on her denim quilt because I did not like it. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I've been loving seeing the progress photos and that sort of thing. There, she's making a quilt out of, like, I think it's like old jeans and other denim products. It's been fun to watch her make in that one. Okay, so let's see what we got going on here. Got all these.
I love seeing those types of projects where people are upcycling old materials.
Yeah.
I love to see those.
Yeah, I think the only I've done a bunch of t-shirt quilts. That's about as far as I've gotten.
Yeah, in fact, we're working on a t-shirt quilt table runner project on my channel. We just started it over 4th of July weekend.
That's right. I did remember seeing
picking that one up again.
That's been a lot of, yeah, I do remember seeing part of that. I just don't get to watch as many people's videos as I want to, because by the time I work full time and then I try and get my videos ready and everything else. And then by the time you do all that, like there's no more hours in the day, it seems like.
Oh, I agree.
And I'm very distracted. Like I used to be able to put stuff on the background, and I found recently, like, I almost need it to be silent, which is sad. So
I can't handle the silence. That silence makes me insane. I actually can't concentrate when it's too quiet.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Maybe that's something that the pandemic taught me, because like there was times where I would go into the office, because they'd have us go in the office a couple of days a week, and for whatever reason, like all my because they were splitting us up, so we only had a few people in the office at once. And then, like, I think one of my co-workers' wives had a baby and someone else was sick, and there were some days where I was in the office by myself, and I actually enjoyed it. Like, it was nice, like not getting distracted. So yeah, I'm one of those weirdos, but that's okay. Anyone that's watched my channel for more than 5 minutes knows I'm a little eccentric and not normal. And that's just how
I don't think any of us are normal. We take really pretty fabrics, cut them up into the little teeny tiny pieces and sew them back together. I don't think any of us is normal.
No, it's like to me, it's like a puzzle. I really, I remember our last exchange student, Dari, was here. There was one, like, around Christmas, she got really, really into puzzle, like, 500-piece puzzles, 1,000-piece puzzle. And she was sitting there putting her puzzle together, made it, out of, I guess they make it out of cardboard or cardstock or whatever it is. And I was like, yeah, you're making your cardboard puzzle and I'm making my fabric puzzle.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's see. Ginger's making 128 flying geese for a panel quilt for her next panel Palooza video. I'll have to go check that out when she gets that going. If you haven't seen Ginger's videos, go check out her channel. I think she is under Ginger. Let me see. I'll throw it in the chat and see what happens. Good morning, Nellie. Don't worry about being late. We are always on super early, and I love when people just pop in. Like, as the time goes on, people pop in. You have that as well with your lives, Dani? Do people tend to pop in later on, or is it like most people show up at the beginning since you're on a little later? Because I know you start around 10:30 Central. Is that right?
Yes, 10:30 a.m. Central Time. And yeah, we have people pop in throughout the channel. I have people pop in because my stream usually runs till about 12:30 Central Time, and so we have people pop in right around that 12 noon. And it always makes me giggle when they apologize for being late. It's like, you're not late. I mean, I just appreciate you being here. Whatever time you have to spend, there's no need to apologize for being late. You don't have to be there on time.
I totally agree. And I mean, everybody that shows up and everybody that, joins in, it means the world to me. And, because I'm on so early, I think well over half of my views are replay views. So, and I totally get that. So, I mean, the fact that you showed up to a live is even better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you don't have to worry about being, don't have to worry about being late, just show up whenever you want. Come and go. Like, as Steven says, come and go as you please. Like,
exactly. My favorite ones though are the ones that pop in and say, "Yay, I finally caught a live." Because then it's like, "Yay, I get to talk to you."
yes.
I get to interact with you as opposed to just communicating via comments.
Yeah.
Those are my favorite ones.
Yeah. I know. I always smile when I see that as well. So let's see. Oh, thank you, Jen. Yeah, that's the other thing too, is like, while you're here, hit that like button if you're enjoying the content, because it does help us out immensely. And I don't, I think a few of us mentioned in the past, but with how the YouTube recommendation system or the algorithm works, is the more people that interact with us via, the chat helps, the likes help, and that sort of thing there as well. So, I mean, you can only subscribe to us once, but every video, if you hit that like button, it's more interaction and it helps us out immensely. And, it'll push our videos out to a wider audience. It'll help us grow. And there's quite a few people right now that are getting very, very close to some subscriber milestones. I know Dani is one of them. She is at around 461 when we started today's live, and she's getting close to 500. My friend Katie from Living Greenland's getting close to 200. My friend Stephanie from Memoirs of a Long-Arm Quilter, who has done YouTube in the past, and she's back again and doing a lot of fun lives and everything else. She's getting very, very close to 500. I think she's around the same number as Dani. I think you guys are like within 10 or 20 of each other. And then I'm knocking on the door of 2,000 myself, which I think is an awesome achievement. So yeah, definitely check out all my friends' channels. I love supporting other content creators wherever I can and helping them grow, because, I think it's a wonderful community, and I just love seeing everybody, growing and having fun with this. Because I mean, I'm here because I have fun. Like, I'm not here to, make this my living. Although, if the opportunity arose where I could earn enough to make a living, that would be wonderful. But realistically, that's a long time off, if ever. And if it ever stops becoming fun, I'm going to come on and say, it's been real. It's been great. I love you all. But this is it, and that'll be the end of it. So yeah, if it ever becomes not fun, I'm done. So.
Rebecca said she loves my iron setup. Thank you so much, Rebecca. I do love it myself. I don't know if you're a subscriber to my channel, but this is basically my quilting area. This is all I've got, is this little space. This is a cabinet here. You guys can't actually see it, but this is a fold-in cabinet. So the whole thing folds up and hides away, because this is a bedroom. It used to be my daughter's bedroom, but she's recently moved out. So this is actually just a foldable table. And I bought a ironing pad that you can use. It's just one of those little foldable ones that you can fold up and wash. And then I put my wool pressing mat on top of it. And then I have a cordless iron that I absolutely love. So yes, thank you very much for that. If you watch my streams, you'll see I kind of move the iron around a lot. It just depends on what size project I'm working on. When I get to larger scale projects, I do have an actual full-size ironing board that I can pull out and set up right here behind me. But then I have to stand up, and then you guys can't see my head. My head gets chopped off the camera. So it's entertaining, if nothing else. But I do have a full-size iron I can set up if I need to. But thank you for that. That was very kind of you to say. I am partial to it myself. It's one of those that this is the space I have to work with, so I had to find a way to make it work.
Oh, absolutely. And I think it's great too. Like, I don't know if I've talked about this a whole lot. It's great to see that different content creators like yourself can make a small space work. Like, there's one guy I watch, and he's getting very close to, we're talking about people getting close. To subscriber goals, sewing with Lil Wayne. I can never pronounce his name for some reason. He's getting close to 100 subscribers, and I believe he lives in San Francisco. And if you know anything about real estate or rent prices, I mean, would hate to imagine what you pay for anything over there. And he has like the tiniest space to work in. Like, if he has more than 50 or 60 square foot to play with, I'd be super surprised. But he did a tour on one of his videos a while ago showing how he worked in such a small space. And I think it's good for people to see the different ideas of how you can work in a smaller space, because not all of us have a lot of us don't have a lot of room. Like I know, like I might have a little more room than you, Danny, because I work in a dining room, but it's not a whole lot because, you know, what you see is basically what you get as well. I've got like a dining room table. I think it's 5x3, but it also shares space with like my huge monitor for work because I work from home sometimes, and everything else there as well. So, I mean, you got to make it work. I'm actually in the process of, I'm going to go buy either a 6 or an 8 foot long table that you can fold up in half so I can do my basting on that, because I figured that would be a really good way to base, because this table's just not quite long enough. And then I've got to shift everything off it, like the computer and the monitor and everything else. And that's kind of a pain. But your ironing setup is actually very, very similar to mine. I have like a little fold-up TV tray table, and I just put my little ironing board on that with my little iron, and that's what I do for my piecing. And then I'm very fortunate where I have the steam press for my bigger pieces.
Yes, you talked about that before. I'm kind of jealous. Part of me wishes I had one of those. Like I said, I usually have to pull up when I'm doing when I'm ironing up yardage. If I can't actually iron it up on this little bitty table, then I actually have to pull up my full size ironing board and iron it there, and it's a little bit of a pain. I am fortunate enough that I have a huge kitchen island. A huge island in my kitchen. So when I have to do the really big piece projects, when I have to do some big cutting or some big ironing, I actually bought a really big cutting mat that fits the size of the island, so I can cut on that when I need to. But then those things I have to do off camera. I've recorded a couple of videos in my kitchen so you guys can see me working in there, doing stuff, but you got to use the space you've got. Before I had this beautiful cabinet here, I was like you, I was working at my kitchen table in my kitchen, and so I'd have to set everything up and do my work and then take everything down before dinner, so I understand working in small spaces for sure.
Oh yeah, I mean, you just make it work. And I really do think it's nice to see the different ideas that different people come up with, because it really does help us. Like this, I've seen other channels, and I can't remember who did what all this time now. And, I've come up with some really, what I've seen them do has helped me immensely. Someone was asking what my shirt says. It says, "Don't drink and quilt." And then you can see one of the, like this part down here is backwards. And, that's just me. Well, actually, sometimes I find after a beer or, rum and coke or whatever it is, I tend to sew better. I bowl better after, if I have a couple of beers and then go, bowling, my game average improves by like 30 or 40. We used to call it alcoholic bowling back in the day when me and my buddies would go bowling. So I don't know. This was a Christmas gift, I think, from my exchange student last year. I thought it's a funny shot. I don't wear it very often, but it's got a fun message. So, and it's not super easy to find t-shirt, like quilting t-shirts for guys. Like everything, this got a little bit of floral on it, but it's not terrible. But a lot of the stuff is definitely suited towards the ladies, which makes it difficult for me. But we make it work. It's getting better, thankfully.
Sounds like a business opportunity to me.
If I was a graphic designer and I could do all that stuff, I would have been on top of it by now. Absolutely. Yeah. I wish I had that skill, but I don't.
Oh, I wish I had a lot of skills that I don't have.
Yeah. I mean, I can piece Art East projects. I can do Wizard of Oz. I can do all that sort of stuff there. But when it comes to that sort of thing there, it's unfortunately not my skill set. Because otherwise I would be making quilting shirts that are more designed, both for the ladies and the gents. But as I said, it is getting better. I am seeing more and more designs out there that are, that aren't super floral and super feminine, which is really, really nice, because I think there's more and more gentlemen jumping into the quilting game, and more gentlemen starting up their quilting channels as well, which is really, really nice. So, I mean, there's a few of them here already today. I mean, we have, oh, wow, John is here from Art East. We're just talking about him. Yeah. It's always good to hear from him. He's just a wonderful guy. If you haven't checked out John's, I don't know that John has a channel. I know he's very active on Instagram, and if you haven't done so already, I believe he has a giveaway for the Wizard of Oz over on his Instagram account. So go over to Instagram, Art East Quilting Co., and check out that giveaway. Put your name into the drawing. I think he's drawing the name tomorrow night or sometime tomorrow, and it's like the full pattern. So, Dani, if you haven't done that yet, definitely head over and do that.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah. My friend Dawn from My Quilt Projects is here. Good morning. She said she wanted, I think it was her that said to me earlier this week that she was definitely going to come over and check out today's thing because Dani is one of her favorite content creators.
Dawn is one of my favorites.
Well, the feeling is mutual. I think that's great. Susan says that her sewing space is my dining room, so is mine. It's no longer the dining room. I call it my sewing studio, and home office. So let's see. Jan says she's lucky she has a whole granny flat as a sewing room. It's her she cave. I love that you have that whole little area. That's so much fun. Pat Strawhouse says I use 2 IKEA tables to create an L-shaped sewing space in the corner of my bedroom. Yeah, so I just love hearing all these different things. So let's see. Janice says she has a small corner in a dining room for large projects. I use a dining room table. I have a small folding table for ironing blocks. Yeah, I think a lot of us have figured out that the folding table for a small ironing board is a wonderful, easy option for us to do our ironing of our piecing. So if you haven't got onto that yet, it's definitely a great option. You can just get one of the little folding TV tables, slap a little. I just have one of the little miniature ironing boards, the ones like yay long and this wide, and that works for me. I think you said you got like the thing. I think you can also get.
I have an ironing mat. So it's basically a magnetic mat that you would normally put like on top of a dryer or a washing machine. It's a heat proof mat. So I have that underneath my wool pressing mat. And that way it protects the table because the heat from the wool, mat silks through, and sometimes it can warp the table. I did have a different one. This is the plastic table. I did have a wood table that I was using before that kind of warped the table because I didn't have the heat mat underneath it. So that's why I spent a little bit of money and bought that heat mat, and now it protects the table. I don't have to worry about it. And I think it protects the wool pressing mat as well. It kind of absorbs all that heat. So it's really kind of nice.
That's neat, yeah, because I don't have a heat mat or anything else. It's just like a little ironing board, and it's one of the wooden tables. And I wondered about it warping, but it hasn't warped yet. But it's a fairly thick piece of wood, so I think if it's lasted this long, it's okay. And I think we bought the wooden tape, like the TV tray tables, like 15 years ago. So I figured if it got destroyed, I'd just go buy another one. So Chloe says I might finally join Instagram. Yeah, if you haven't checked out Instagram, I'm a big fan of it because if you hop on there for the quilting part, it's mostly people just showing pictures of their quilts and videos of their quilts and everything else. There's not a lot of ads like compared to Facebook and that sort of thing there as well. And I get a lot of inspiration for ideas off Instagram. I'm a huge fan of it. I'm not huge into a lot of social media platforms. Like I don't use TikTok or Twitter or anything else like that. I just don't have enough time in my day for that. But I do enjoy Instagram. So yeah, I if you haven't checked that out, yeah, definitely head over to Instagram and just, take a look and see if it's something that you're interested in. So
yeah, I've been trying to get a little bit better. I'm not really great at social media, but I've been trying to get better at it. My community, we have a Facebook group and an Instagram. The Facebook group is a little more active than the Instagram. And I think that's just because those in my community are more familiar with the Facebook, the Facebook application, which is fine. I personally am more familiar with the Facebook application than I am with Instagram, but I'm trying to learn. So I'm in both places.
Me too. And I'm terrible about putting stuff on Instagram, but I'm actually trying to schedule posts and that sort of thing, like just pictures of the stuff that I've, completed blocks and that sort of thing there, because there's some quilters out there that are very, very active and very, very successful on Instagram. And I figure if you, like as a content creator, if you do a little bit on a couple of different platforms, like I don't think you really, unless, you want to be the next big thing in quilting. Like, I think as long as you go on a couple different platforms, I think that gives you a good chance of potentially growing your audience a little bit. So, okay, good morning, Marie. It's from Marie Scrappy Creation. I meant to say good morning early, but I got too distracted, which is nothing unusual in my world. John did say yes, we do. We are pulling a winner tomorrow. Let me see if I can get over to Instagram and grab that giveaway link. Again. Do I remember my password? No, I don't. Okay. Well, all right. Well, you guys will figure it out. Hopefully you guys figure it out. Just head over there, look for Art East Quilting Co. And it'll work itself out there as well. And if I missed saying good morning or good evening to anybody, I apologize. I just get very easily distracted, as I've told everybody about 6 times already. Gene, good morning.
I joke all the time that I apologize to my community all the time. I'm like, I'm sorry, I saw something shiny.
Oh, absolutely.
But I got distracted.
I'm very much like that. I forget what movie it is. Is it like Frozen or whatever it is where they say squirrel? And that is definitely me. My friend Gloria Carlson is here. It's good to see you as well. Heidi says, as a teenager, I had a poster on my wall, why be normal? And that wasn't yesterday. No, me either. It was a long time ago since I was a teenager. So, and
a few years.
A few years, yeah. All right. Martha says it's great listening to you both this morning. And she's on her way to go see her daughter. Yeah. Martha's a good buddy of mine, and she was on with me last week. And where did my scissors go? Okay, so I'm actually making some progress. I always have these grand plans and coming on this live and doing so much sewing, and then I end up getting distracted and getting like a third of what I thought I was going to get done. But I'm not sure if you're that way or not, Dani, but
oh, absolutely, all the time. I'm constantly like, we're going to finish this today. We're going to finish this today. And then I get like 2 blocks in. Like, okay, we're not going to finish this today. Because like you said, you start communicating with the community, and you're, following along on chat. And then of course you make 100 mistakes like I do, and things happen.
Yeah, that's what I was going to tell you. You were saying earlier this, I don't know if it was on the live or beforehand, but you were saying like you were doing a live and you thought you were like going to be done 45 minutes early. And then you had some other stuff come out. That's how I was last week. I was like, I'm going to be done so early with my cotton cuts thing. And then I realized I made 2 mistakes. I had to pull up my friend Jack, and it ended up taking like the entire time. So I was like, okay, let's not wish for that again. Jan is asking what time it is in the UK right now. It would be 1:53 in the afternoon. Right? 9, 10, 11, 12, 1. Yes. Okay. I did get that right. Yeah. So 1:53 p.m. Saturday. Yeah. I'm
Speaking of mistakes, last week on my channel, we were putting together some blocks for one of the projects we were working on, and I sewed all the blocks up. I chain pieced them. So I just sewed them all up together, and then I flipped them over, and I went to go like arrange them to make the full, because there was a sub block and I was putting the full block together, and I realized that I had sewn all of those blocks up wrong. So I spent the rest of the stream pulling out stitches for the entire set of blocks. It was very frustrating.
Oh, I can imagine that doesn't sound like my idea of fun. So
no, but it's kind of the omen for my channel. That's what we do on my channel. We pull out stitches mainly. We don't do a lot of sewing.
Oh well. That's one of those things. All right, let's see. But if you haven't checked out Miss Dani's channel, definitely do so. It's a lot of fun. She always, she makes mistakes and everything else, but we all sit there and have a good time. And the thing I love about your channel too and your lives is you have that, I think it's through Streamlabs, you have those little games where you can place, different games and earn, what are they? Is it
Yeah,
thimbles? You call them thimbles? You want to tell us a bit more about that?
Yep, it's thimbles. Yep. And it's basically like a points program. It's something that Streamlabs offers inside of their streaming software. It's something I picked up from one of my gaming friends. And basically all it is it's my way of thanking everybody for watching the channel and hanging out with me. So basically I'm rewarding all of my viewers for watching me by giving them some points that they can then turn into prizes. Every person that's on a live stream, as long as they're a subscriber to the channel, they're earning those thimbles just for watching. They don't have to do anything. They're just earning them to watch. And if they participate in chat, then they earn a little bit more. I think it's like 25 points for every 5 minutes of watching, and then it's an extra 2 or 3 thimbles for every message you send in chat. But then there's also, like you said, there's games inside of chat that are built in. We have a slots machine game, which is basically, it's just gambling. Basically, you type in the command and you put in how many of your thimbles you're willing to wager, and then you get a random draw and it tells you if you won or not. And then there's another one that's called a heist game, it's just basically another luck of the draw kind of game. It's a bunch of people go in and then the computer randomly picks winners and you earn even more thimbles that way. And then once you get to a point where you have enough thimbles, you can actually redeem those thimbles in for prizes. And I've got a bunch of different prizes listed. We've got some pretty big ones on the channel that some people are saving up for. And my moderator, he has the most thimbles of anybody, of course, and he jokes that he's waiting, he's holding on to all of his thimbles and he's waiting for the new car prize, which there is no new car prize. But a couple of the community members have reached out to me and said, well, when he gets to the point where he thinks he's going to earn a new car, I should buy him one of those little Matchbox ones.
Yes.
or a little die cast. And Mr. Wizard, my husband, I call him Mr. Wizard, long story, but I call him that. And he actually makes model cars. So I've decided that when my moderator gets to a point where he's earned what he thinks are enough thimbles for this new car, he's going to get one of the model cars. He'll be able to pick which one he wants from the stash. So that's going to be his prize when the time comes.
I keep listening to that and I'm thinking of that Netflix special, Pepsi, Where's My Jet? For anyone that doesn't know, there was a promotion that Pepsi did back, I think it was in the late 90s, I think it was, where you could like every time you bought Pepsi, you get like a code, not so many points. And then the top prize, I think if you had like 17 billion points or whatever, I don't know how many points it was, you could get a Harrier jet, which is like one of those fighter jets that does vertical takeoff and landing, if I remember correctly. And someone tried to cash it in and Pepsi was like, no, we don't actually have that. But because I think he spent like hundreds of thousands of dollars buying points and it was all that mess. But yeah, if you have Netflix and you're interested, go take a look at that, or just type in Pepsi, Where's My Jet? And I'm sure Wikipedia probably has a synopsis on it where you wouldn't have to sit there and watch it, the whole thing. So yeah, when you're talking about the car as a main prize doesn't exist, it makes me think of that. Good morning, Bettina.
Well, that's what he keeps teasing. So that's what I've decided, that when he thinks he's earned enough points, then he can pick out his own model car.
That'd be funny. You should find out what his favorite sort of like his dream car is and have your husband make a model of that.
Well, there you go. Well, he's already gotten a couple of them from us. He is my daughter's boyfriend.
Right.
And so he's been around the family for quite some time. And so he actually has gotten a couple of gifts from my husband of model cars, because he's really big into criminology and police work, things like that. So my husband actually made him a Illinois police car.
Oh, nice.
This was a while ago, a few years ago now, I think. He made him one. So he's not a stranger to the model car prizes, for sure.
That'd be fun. you'll have to take a video of that and share it with us when he gets his.
Yeah, well, he tried to tease his mom about it. We gave it to him, and then he put it in the driveway, right? And then he ran in the house and he goes, "Mom, you're not gonna believe this. Danny's husband bought me a new car, or Danny's husband gave me a new car. You got to check it out. Look out the window." And she's like, "What? Are you kidding me?" And so she looks out the window and she sees this little car in the driveway.
That's funny.
This little police car in the driveway. It was funny. I wish he had gotten it on video because it was funny.
Yeah, that's cute. Russ says, "What about one of those Power Wheels?"
Power Wheels. Yeah, there's a good idea.
I think he might be a little bit big for a Power Wheel, unfortunately. That'd be funny.
Yeah, he's a pretty tall kid. I don't think the Power Wheel might be a little big for him.
Yeah, he'd get a go-kart and
go-kart. There you go.
Knees around his ears.
There you go. Go-kart. That'll work.
Yeah, there's an idea. Just tell him, look, we couldn't afford a car, but we got you a rent. We got you a 2-race package or something at the local go-kart track.
There you go. We actually have a couple of those tracks around here by me too. That could actually work. That's not a bad idea.
I always enjoyed that. I haven't done it in a very long time, but I've always enjoyed doing that whenever I get a chance. So I'm not halfway bad at it either. All right, Marie says she's back in a couple of minutes. I'm just cutting this and then we'll go ahead and I don't like cutting off dog ears. That's one of the things I like about the what's it called? The cotton cut stuff. It's all pre-cut and all the dog ears are cut off and everything else like that. So it makes it so much easier.
Oh, I know.
I'm very much spoiled by that.
I really enjoyed the cotton cut stuff. It's unfortunate that I just couldn't get my budget together these last 2 projects, but I'm hoping for the next one, the one after Carnival, that I'll be able to join them again.
Yeah.
I just had some unexpected expenses that I had to take care of here, and so I had to forego those. Plus, I just have so many projects going on the channel as it is anyway. It just wasn't really a smart idea to take on another one. So
yeah, it's hard
to finish something.
Yeah. Sometimes you just got to take a step back and not do everything. Sorry, I'm just making sure I get this right because apparently everybody else has pulled out their friend Jack, and so far I've done all right. I haven't had to pull him out, but
Oh, well, he's on my channel. I actually had one of my subscribers make the recommendation to me and I really loved it, but we've decided that Jack is just a co-host of my channel.
I love that.
He's the co-host because he's probably on the camera just as much as I am.
I may have to borrow that if that's okay.
Yeah, I thought that was absolutely hysterical that somebody mentioned that. I'm like, oh, that's totally true too.
Yes, my co-host. Yes.
Yes. This is my co-host for the day. Yeah.
I should do that one day. Put for my thumbnails, on one of my lives. With special guest so and so and Jack.
And Jack. Yeah.
That'd be funny.
It could be funny. Yeah, it could be really funny.
All right, let's see. Heidi says Legit Kits does have that sports car pattern. So there's an idea for you. That was I think what they called it. It's like a Camaro, or I'm not really.
Yes, I've seen that before. One of my subscribers has recommended it to me because I'm big into cars, and obviously so is my husband. And I have considered it. I have not, like I said, I have too many projects going right now, so I have not. But it's one of those that it's in the wheelhouse. It's one of those where it's like I could get into that, and that would be my full size paper piecing project that I've yet to try. So yeah. I'm aware of it, but yeah, it's gorgeous too. It's absolutely gorgeous. So definitely one that I want to check out.
No, that'd be fun. Martha says, make sure you give them a bottle of water too, along with the car. On social media, water makes cars or trucks life size. We can believe that, right? Poor Lucas.
Oh, yeah, we blame him for a lot of things.
Isn't that what the daughter's boyfriend's there for?
Exactly. Well, and yeah, like I said, they've been together, they'll be together 5 years this year. So he's kind of become a member of the family, basically, as it is anyway. So yeah, we just gave him an initiation. That's all.
I'm reading
He's
you
a
what
great
Jan
kid.
said. Yes. Yeah, I've only dealt with him in like the chat, but he just seems like a really, really nice young man. So
Oh, absolutely. He's super sweet. He's incredibly supportive of the channel, and he doesn't quilt. He's not a quilter at all. He doesn't sew, he doesn't quilt, he knows nothing about any of it. But he has been a major supporter of the channel. He's taken on that moderator role excellently. He's really helped me out with regards to the Thimbles program, making sure that that's running smoothly. A lot of times he'll hijack the slots games and he'll change the payouts so that people can play for a short window and earn even more thimbles and stuff. So he likes to do stuff like that. A couple of weeks ago, he changed all of the icons for the thimbles or for the slots machine game, because it actually gives you little icons like a regular slot machine would. And he changed all the icons for 4th of July. So they're all, 4th of July themed. So yeah, he does all kinds of stuff for the channel, and he's just such a great help.
Oh, I agree.
I don't think I would be nearly as successful on my channel if he wasn't a part of it. So
yeah, I didn't realize he was your daughter's boyfriend for quite a while. I thought he was like your son or stepson or something like that, just because he's been really good. I'd love to see him quilt. Maybe we can try and talk him into doing a project someday.
He keeps telling me that he wants to get in front of the machine, and now that he's home from school, right now he works Sunday mornings. He works for the school or the park district. He does swim lessons with little kids. So he can't make the Sunday morning streams right now for the summer, for the most part. He comes in later in the afternoon or later in the stream, but he usually can't make the morning ones. Right. And that's actually why he's not here this morning either. But after the summer is over, depending on what his new work schedule looks like, he has mentioned to me that he would really love to be able to join me on my live streams on Sundays, maybe once a month, to learn how to use a sewing machine. So we're going to be doing a sewing 101 on our channel when he's available, to as myself and the community, teaching him how to use a sewing machine and teaching him how to make a quilt. So we're really excited for that. We haven't dug too deeply into it yet. We haven't, picked a pattern or fabrics or any of that just yet, because we're waiting to see what his schedule is going to look like. But that's the plan now that he's home. So he's really excited about it. He wants to learn. And I've got extra sewing machines. So I've told him, I said, pick a machine, you can have it, just not this one. Right. But you can pick any of my other machines. You can have it. You can take it home. You can practice. I mean, he's, just down the street. So it's not like he's going very far. But that way he can practice with it too. So it's going to be a lot of fun when that time comes.
That'd be a lot of fun. I'm going to definitely have to go to check that out and see how that goes. I think that'd be a lot of fun. You could always start him off very simply if you want and do just a simple patchwork quilt. That's how I started. That was my first quilt. And go maybe take him to the store and let him pick out a few fun fabrics. That's what I did with my sister quilts. And when her and her husband were here the first time, we just went to Joanne and I said, you all pick out 3 fabrics each and we'll make you a patchwork quilt. And he picked out ones with beer and that sort of thing there. And they love those quilts. So yeah, maybe that's an option. But, since he has you there with him, you might be able to do something a little more challenging too. So.
Oh yeah, we'll probably start out pretty small and just doing something patchwork. I've got a bunch of charm square packs here that he can just literally sew the charm squares up together to make something small. And then we might do, an old, I think it's an old English block, which is where you slice through the middle and then flip them. We did that for a cotton cuts project, so we might do something like that as well, just to kind of teach a little bit more about cutting fabrics and things like that. So I've got a bunch of ideas in my head of what I want to do, but like I said, I don't want to invest too much time and energy into planning it until I know exactly what his schedule is going to look like. But yeah, I'm really excited to teach him how to do it eventually.
That'd be a lot of fun. I'm really, really looking forward to that as well. So Patty says, good morning, everybody. Jan,
Good morning, Patty.
And Jan and Lynn are talking about the UK, and I'd love to go to the UK one day. I need to hop on a plane one day and hop over to Poland.
I've been there twice. It's really beautiful. I wish that I had more time in London itself.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I only had a day. I was there for travel. I was there for work, and so I only had the day to be there. But yeah, it was beautiful. Definitely it was definitely a bucket list item for me, and I'm glad I was able to check that off. The history there is just incredible.
I know, that's kind of what I'd like to see. Just the history and the different things, and I don't know. One day I'll make it across the pond. But I mean, I've been very fortunate. I've been able to see a lot of the US. I've seen a decent amount of the eastern part of Canada. And I've also been down to Nicaragua a few times. So I've seen parts of Central America, Australia, New Zealand. So yeah, I mean, I've seen a lot, but I have not made it over to Europe yet. But we'll have to go at some point.
Yes, Chloe, you're right. The old Italian black. Thank you.
Yeah, Chloe's great like that. She knows all that stuff.
She's another one of my favorites on my channel. I mean, I mean, basically all of my subscribers are my favorites, but Chloe is definitely an active member of the community, and I truly appreciate that. We have quite a few awesome active members.
Yes. Oh, for sure.
Naomi is another one. Hi, Naomi.
I actually got to meet Chloe earlier this year, which was really, really neat.
Oh, that sounds like fun.
Yeah, I got to meet her and her father and a couple of her kids. They were down in the area when the Mid-Atlantic Quilt Festival was on. So I had like a meet and greet thing for any of my viewers that were in the area, and she was in the area and said, hey, I'd love to catch up, because I think she's in like the Northeast somewhere. And so it's like she was kind of like one of the ones I wasn't expecting to show up, but yeah, she's like, yeah, we're down here. I'd love to come see you. And I was like, I'd love to see you too. And we just sat down and talked for a while, and it was a lot of fun. Chloe says, what part of Nicaragua? We started off Managua, which is the capital city, and then we moved up north towards Matagalpa, Jinotega. We've been to Esteli. So basically the northeastern part, closer up towards is it Honduras? I'll get the name of the country right in a minute. Yeah, so that's the extent of my travels. New Zealand's beautiful. If you ever get a chance to hit New Zealand up, definitely do that. That's a beautiful part of the world. All right, let's see. I might get one of these corners done before. Okay, so that's that. I've been good. My co-host hasn't had to come out yet. Someone did tell me earlier, and I meant Jan said we should call it Saturday morning with Jack and Friends.
There you go. That I like that.
Brekkie with Jack and Friends.
Brekkie with Jack and Friends. I like that.
Yeah. So if we see a name change, we can thank Jan for that. Okay. Chloe says she spent time in Grenada. Yeah, I think that's down south. I don't think we made it quite that far. When we were down there, we actually did get to go see. There was a volcano just south of Managua. What's the name of it? It was like an hour south. It was an active volcano, and that was fun to see. Just trying to remember the name of it. Did I do this wrong? That's not good. See you. Get talking. Yep. Okay, where are you? Come here. Okay, well, you're not alone, Dani. My mate's coming out, I believe.
It's my fault. It's
No,
it's because I'm here.
Nah, it's fine. I actually had a good run. I think there was about a period of like 3 or 4 lives in a row. I didn't have to bring it out. And I was like, my streak is going to end, which it did last week. I had to pull it out twice. And I figured, we're probably going to have a run of having to bring out my co-host. So yeah, maybe next week will be Brekkie with Jack and Friends. Or when Dani comes on.
I forget which subscriber it was that said that to me on one of my lives, but it was the funniest thing. And I'm like, it's totally true too. Totally true.
Anyway, it happens. I'm not worried about it. I think it was Ginger was from Copycat Quilter. I had her on a few months ago, and she said, don't worry too much about Jack, because you think about it like, and I love this, and I've said it a few times, but she said something along the lines of like, think about the amount of time that you use Jack versus the amount of time that you don't.
Yeah.
And once I heard that, I was like, okay, I don't feel so bad now. Like, yeah, because 99% of the time you're sewing along, you don't need to pull it out. And, sometimes you do. I mean, even the best, sports teams in the world, sometimes they lose. They don't win every single time unless you're that. I think there was one college women's team that won like 75 games in a row or something. But, yeah. No, nobody's perfect.
Nope.
All right. Ginger says she has to run. Geese assembled in blocks at 2, so just a few more hundred seams, and my geese will be assembled into the rows. That is intense. I'd love to see pictures of that once you're done. Suze Gill says, hi, Sean. It looks like your turtle's trying to get on camera. He's sticking his head up. Yeah, we actually got her a new filter yesterday because the one that was in there was not working, and she's actually got more room now, so she's enjoying the extra space, which is nice. I almost did it wrong a second time. We got to get this part done, and then I think we got to run away before I make more mistakes. Because like we were saying earlier,
I've had to pull out 2 full pieces so far. I had to take one of these pieces completely apart because I had sewed the entire thing upside down. I don't know how I managed to do that, but it takes skill. It's a special talent to do that. And then I just had to pull a piece apart because I sewed it to the wrong line. So, I'm doing great so far.
But I think in your defense, like with a live, like there's so many moving pieces. You've got your sewing, you've got your chat with your audience, you're reading the chat. I mean, there's so much going on. Like how we get anything done without messing every step up, I think is a testament to us that we're doing something right. So
people say that to me all the time. They're always like, Dani, I don't know how you can manage to keep up with chat and sew. And it's like, oh, it's cute that you think I'm actually getting something done here.
Well, you're getting something done. I mean, you might not be getting a whole lot done.
It's cute that you think I'm actually getting something done here. It's fine, but
I admire anyone that can do a live by himself. Like how you manage to do it solo. I mean, I kind of cheat, with having someone else on, because I can ask them a question and let them answer while I go concentrate on something else. But, when you're doing it all by yourself and you got, I know you have Lucas to help you out in the chat and stuff, but doing it like basically as a one-woman show is just absolutely amazing. Ross says, I forget how many years ago.
I joke all the time that I can talk to a brick wall. So
that's
talking
amazing.
is one of my special skills.
And see, it's not for me. I am super shy. I am super introverted. Like if you told me 5 years ago I would have a YouTube channel where I talk to people for an hour and some each week, I would have told you that you need to check yourself into the local nut house and get checked out, because And here I am. So,
Yeah, go figure, right?
but I think it's one of those things, like if it's something that you really, really enjoy, um, you know, you're happy to do it. And I really look forward to these lives every week. So, because if I didn't, I
For
wouldn't
me,
be
I
here.
did it I started the channel because I wanted to make friends. I wanted to make quilting friends. I really don't have, I mean, I do have a local quilt store in my area, but it's actually not really local. It's 45 minutes to an hour away, so it's not really local. And for the most part, the classes that they offer, or the projects they do, the things that they do are during a time period that I'm still at work, because I work a full-time job too. So I really couldn't join any of those things. So I mean, I was watching a bunch of YouTubers and things like that. So Becca was one of the first channels that I actually joined in on and started watching. And that's kind of how I learned about the quilting community on YouTube. And then I kept watching her for a while, and then I started watching your channel, and I was watching Teresa's channel and Kathy's channel. Obviously there's the Kimberly Bells of the world, and the Donna Jordans of the world, the big time YouTubers as well. I started watching them as well, but that's when I decided I really wanted to make friends. I wanted to be able to reach out to the people in this community and be able to chat with them and interact with them. And so that's the reason that I started my channel. I really didn't expect to have more than a handful of people subscribe to the channel and chatting. I had no idea that there was no plans in my brain that 400 plus people would be subscribed to the channel and want to watch it. that
I know,
wasn't
right?
that wasn't a part of the initial process, but I'm so grateful for it. And I wish that I could talk to all of those people every week.
Yeah, I meant to ask you what motivated you to start your channel. I love that answer. Like mine's different. Getting all the friends and everything else has just been an unexpected blessing for me. My story is, my wife watches a lot of knitting podcasts, and these people are getting stuff done. Like they'd come on every other week, and they would have a pair of socks. They would get stuff done. Like they come on and they'd show a pair of socks or a sweater or a shawl or, washcloths or whatever they knit or crocheted that week. And I'm like, these content creator people are actually getting stuff done. Maybe if I start a channel, I'll actually get stuff done. And so that was my inspiration on, and it's actually worked. And it's been great. Yeah, I've gotten a lot more done because I have people, wanting to see what I get up to each week. So I don't want to get on there and say, okay, well, you know what? I didn't feel like doing anything this week, so you're out of luck. That's just not how I am. Like I'm a people pleaser. So,
Right.
All right, Katie's asking what I'm working on, and I just finished this part of the book. And it's going to be part
pretty.
of, Just pull it up one more time in case someone didn't get a chance to see it. And once I finish the other 3 sections on it, it's going to be part of a Hunter Star block, which is like so.
Are you using all of the same fabrics for all of the blocks?
No, they're all Ellison glass fabrics. I'll pull that up real quick. Just so this is the first one, and they're all very similar colors, but they've got different designs on it. Like these are all basically the same, like from the same line. And
Right.
then there is this one.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, see, there's a different pattern on it. And then, let's see. This one, it's got more like little cross stitches on it.
Oh, and they're just half square triangles. You didn't have to use any type of special rulers or anything.
No, it's all half square triangles. So it's a nice. It's a nice, easy pattern. It's called Hunter Star Simplified. It's by Calico Carriage Designs, if I remember correctly. I had the front of it here at one point and it's disappeared. So, but yeah, it's been a fun project. I've done 6 blocks already. I'm working on number 7, and then it should be, I want to do 8 altogether. I actually made this is like one of the first patterns I've done twice. I actually made the same pattern in a series of purples about 3 years ago. It was a retirement gift for my manager at the time. And this has always been one that I've wanted to redo, because when I saw the pattern, actually they had like a display quilt in the shop that I was at the time, it was in all different colors. And I always wanted to remake it in all different colors. And then one of my viewers, Val West, sent me all this fabric. She heard that I loved Alison Glass. She said she had a bunch of it that she, bought for a project. She didn't like it and wanted to give it to a good home. So she sent it out to me, which was very, very generous of her. And I appreciate that greatly. And, I had it sitting in the house for a few months, and then I finally figured, it'll be really, really good for this project. And it's been absolutely amazing. So, there you go. Okay, Teresa says, on your t-shirt quilts, what stabilizer do you use? I use the Pellin P44F. It's a very lightweight stabilizer, and it's also super cheap. It's like 99 cents a yard if it's not on sale, but a lot of times you can get it half price if you find a sale at Joann's, or you can use a coupon. And then I usually just go ahead and buy a bolt of 48 yards at a time, and I think it's about $30 with tax for the whole bolt, and then it will keep you going for ages. I'm actually working on a t-shirt quilt at the moment. I'm always working on a t-shirt quilt. And so like that's the front, and then that's the back with the stabilizer on it. And then if you go to...
Do you put sashing around all of your t-shirt quilts?
I do. Yeah, I use I like to use a thinner sashing than most people. I do 1.1 inch in between the shirts, and then on the exterior I do 2 inch.
Oh, okay.
I know a lot of people use a wider, probably I'm guessing, because I haven't obviously seen them up close. I think most people use like a 2 inch sashing in the middle, and I just prefer it to be a little thinner. That's just my personal opinion. It's what I like, but that's what I do. I do like putting the sashing in. I don't bother with cornerstones. I have in the past, but I find they're a bigger pain in the tail than it's worth. You don't really notice them, especially with a thinner sashing. I mean, if you use the thicker stuff, maybe the cornerstones would be easier and more noticeable, but with how thin it is, I just don't think it's worth the trouble, so I don't even bother with it. So there we go. Okay, let's see. Okay, so Bettina says she's working on a swap from my guild, making the pine tree with the Christmas fabric. That's fun. Dawn says, if she was chairman of YouTube, I would give awards out. One will go to Sean for the ultimate unscripted snafu of no electricity. Yes. That was with Russ, and that was a lot of fun. We learned a lot from that experience, and we're going to have Russ on again very, very soon. Him and I have been talking. We have a date set up. We'll announce that very soon, because we want to do a redo. And I don't know that I was joking with my wife the other day when I was told him I was going to have Russ back on soon, and I was like, do I need to go ahead and get a generator? But no, if that happens to happen twice, I know to run out to my car so I can get a signal, and that might just be my case. Not excited. Russ and I are not meant to be on together. So, but I think we'll have a fun. And she says another award will go to Dani, because sometimes it gets very silly. It'll be called Hell in a Handbasket. Hopefully the bot doesn't pull me in my timeout. No, I think you're good with that. So with that, I think we do need to wrap things up, because I do have other events going on today. Never a dull moment here in this household. But I did finish my one partial block, which was more than I get done sometimes. What did you get done, if anything?
Well, I have gotten all of my pieces actually sewn up together, which is kind of a miracle in itself. And then I am actually going to be sewing the pieces up together right now. I was just going to get ready to put all the pieces together to finish up the block.
Very nice. And so do you have, before we run away, do you have anything fun, like anything that you'd like to announce that you can have coming up on your channel that you'd like to promote? let my viewers know about if they haven't already subscribed to your channel, which they should go over and check out the channel. And if they do, hit those like buttons and subscribe as well. We'd love to see her get a hair closer to 500. It looks like I checked a few minutes ago, we're almost, I think it's like 469. Let's hit the old refresh button and see. Yep, 469. So yeah, we got you a few more people, which is always nice.
Yes, thank you to all the new subscribers. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, I have a really big giveaway at 500 subscribers when we get there. I've got a bunch of stuff all lined up. When we get subscriber milestones, I like to give out big prizes. Because it's my way of just being so grateful and showing my appreciation to the channel and to the community. So we've got a big giveaway when we hit 500 subs. We just started 2 brand new projects on the channel. We just finished 2 projects, and now we're starting 2 brand new projects on the channel. Tomorrow, this live stream is just going to kind of be whips and UFOs, because I've got a kind of a mystery project I'm working on right now. So you'll see that one pop in, but we're working on the 2 new projects we've got going right now. Is a Home Sweet Home, which is it's like an patriotic quilt. It was part of Fat Quarter Shop's Liberty Box from last year. So we're just starting that this year. We started that on 4th of July. So that was kind of exciting. And then we're also working on a t-shirt quilt as well. We're doing table runners though. We're not doing a full-size quilt. We're going to be doing some table runners. I've made a t-shirt quilt before full size. I have normally do my t-shirt quilts as rag quilts. This one I'm going to be doing as a pull through method because it's going to be a table runner. So I didn't want that rag on a table. I wanted it to be a little bit more smooth. So we're going to be doing that. We started that also 4th of July weekend. We've got 2 of those. We've got one is going to be Christmas themed and the other one is going to be zoo themed, which is going to be kind of fun. So we're gonna have to find some nice animal print for the backing. I haven't found anything that I like yet. Well, to be honest, I really haven't looked yet. So we're gonna be working on that. That'll be picked up on the channel. And then we also have our project that we've been working on for a while called Tropics. It's a cozy quilt designs pattern that we've been working on for a little while. We're getting to the end of that one. That's the one I was telling you about, how I put all the blocks together and then realized I had put all of them together wrong and had to pull the whole thing apart. So I pulled those all apart and sewed it back together. So the next time we come around to that one, we'll be finishing that one up. So that'll be a couple weeks. And then I've got 2 new projects that will probably be starting here in probably another month or so when we finish up the ones that we're working on. So I usually have 4 or 5 projects going on the channel at a time. Every week we're doing something different because I get bored really easily. So every week it's something different, and I try and plan out a month in advance. So I post on my channel, a preemptive, hey, this is what we're going to be working on these weeks. So then you can decide, if that project is interesting to you and you want to watch that one, then at least you know which week to watch, things like that. But you never know what's going to happen. Like Dawn says, sometimes it can get really silly on the channel, just because I am silly by nature. And it's amazing some of the topics that they come up in conversation sometimes. But we have a lot of fun. You guys are always, the channel members are always earning thimbles that they can trade in for prizes. This week, I'm actually going to try and pull out my box of prizes to show everybody what they can win, because that's been a request on the channel. So I'm going to pull the box out so you guys can see kind of what those prizes are, so that you know what you're trading in your points for. So yeah, that's what we're doing. And then of course, my husband, like I said, he makes model cars. So one of the other things that I've introduced on the channel recently is first 5 or 10 minutes of my live stream, I'll show off a couple of the cars that he's made that week, or in the past, and show you kind of what he's doing with them. Because I think promoting other hobbies is just as important as quilting. So I like to encourage other hobbies as well. So, people that are crocheting or cross stitching, or even if it has nothing to do with sewing, like my husband who does model cars, that's still a hobby. And I think it's important that we encourage hobbies in general, especially to the youth. I think it's incredibly important, not just for, I think it teaches so many different things to so many people. So I try and encourage it as much as I can. If there's a channel member that has a different hobby that they want to talk about, we talk about it. We bring it up. We talk about it. We don't necessarily have to talk about sewing. It's painting, or there's all kinds of them out there. So cooking. We talk a lot about cooking because cooking is another one of my hobbies that I love doing. So we talk about that a lot too. So we have a lot of interesting topics that we talk about for our 2-hour sessions on Sundays. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and you'll need to go check out Dani's live. She's one of my favorites to go watch. I don't get on as often as I can because Sundays tend to be a busy day. We have our church service, and then we talk to our first exchange student on Skype, and then by the time I go grocery shopping and all that, because I like cooking too, and I have to go get food for that. I just don't get a chance to get all that stuff done. But yeah, Dani has such a wonderful personality. You've seen some of it here today. So if it's something that you think you would enjoy, or even if you're not sure, go check out some of her videos, and you'll get an idea of what she's like. It's what you see here today is what you got to get over there as well. And if you do, please hit the subscribe button. It'll help her immensely. She'll love it forever, and it's just a lot of fun. I'll have my podcast as usual tomorrow. And I've got some fun stuff coming up, but you'll hear more about that as they get a little closer. I've got some different projects going on. I've got some fun collabs coming up in the near future as well, which you'll get to hear about in the as they get a little closer. Good morning, Donna. It's good to see you as well. You caught us right at the very end, but it's always good to see her. Definitely go check out Donna's channel as well. She's always a lot of fun. She has a lot of, if you like FPP, for instance, Donna is a wonderful resource. They're working on some Violet Craft items. I think they're working on the cheetah right now. They've done the giraffe. I think they did the giraffe. They did a lion, an elephant. They've done some fun stuff. I think there's like a cow or a dog or so. I can't keep track of it all, but I live vicariously through those guys because I just, like you said earlier, I don't have the time to throw another project into the mix, but I've really enjoyed watching her lives and just seeing her and her guests hop on and put those projects together. But with that, I do need to run away because I do have some other stuff going on today, but I really enjoyed seeing everybody here in the chat this morning. If you're watching the replay, I'd love to hear comments from you guys. Let me know what you thought. Go check out Dani's channel. And if you haven't done so already, hit that like button if you enjoyed it. And I hope you all have a great day. Have a great weekend. And I hope to see you all again on a video soon. I'll be back tomorrow morning and go check out Dani's stuff and show her some subscription love. You'll have a great day and happy sewing. All right.